They better get these lines right. Hey y'all, it's Zephyr Scalzetti. Welcome to They Better Get These Lines Right, where we're delivering the 411 on all things redistricting. Redistricting is our once-in-a-decade process of accounting for state-level population changes across the country to draw new district maps from the federal level to the local level, which makes an impact on how funding is distributed for healthcare, schools, and roads. Basically, everything that's important to you. This show is made possible by Alabama Values, a grassroots communications organization that uses the media and visual stories to raise awareness around what's happening on Alabama's political scene. We won Allen v. Milligan. This is an amazing victory in the ongoing fight for voting rights. Because advocates, organizers, policymakers, and the wider community stood together, the court landed on the side of freedom and democracy to help ensure that politicians don't weaken community representation by distorting district lines, especially in Black and brown communities in Alabama. So what happens now? Well, the ball is back in court, the U.S. District Court of Northern Alabama, to be exact. Rewind with me real quick to January 24th, 2022. That's the date that the U.S. District Court of Northern Alabama officially told the state of Alabama that the 2021 congressional map was junk, and that the Alabama legislature needed to draw a new map immediately that didn't dilute the power of Black voters. Or to read it in their words, the appropriate remedy is a congressional redistricting plan that includes either an additional majority Black congressional district or an additional district in which Black voters otherwise have an opportunity to elect a representative of their choice. This is the point where the Alabama Attorney General, Steve Marshall, went running to the Supreme Court to appeal the decision. The district court went, okay, that's nice, but you still got to redraw this map. We're giving you a chance to get these lines right, but if you don't do it, we will. And then nothing happened. The Alabama legislature sat on its hands and did nothing. The district court warned them that the court had a map drawer ready to go if they didn't get their act together, and nothing. So on February 7th, 2022, the district court said, okay, y'all, we gave you every opportunity to do the right thing, and you didn't do it. So now we're going to take it out of your hands and give it to our map maker. And that's exactly when the Supreme Court stepped in and issued an injunction, which stopped the redrawing of the map until the Supreme Court could hear the case for themselves. SCOTUS heard oral arguments in the Allen v. Milligan case on October 4th, 2022. Back to the present. On June 8th, 2023, the Supreme Court affirmed the U.S. District Court's decision. Basically said, our bad, y'all, you were right this whole time. This map is a mess. We're sending this back down so y'all can get these lines right. While we're overjoyed that the Supreme Court affirmed the District Court's decision, the delay meant that Alabamians voted in November of 2022 for representation in Congress under racially gerrymandered lines. If the U.S. District Court had been allowed to proceed in the first place, Alabamians would already have a more representative congressional map in place. Now that the ball is back in the Alabama legislature's court, let's talk about the timeline and what happens next. It may not feel like it, but time is of the essence to get a new congressional map in place for the 2024 elections. Alabama's current Secretary of State, Wes Allen, told the district court that a new map needed to be in place by around October 1st, 2023, so his office would have enough time to reassign voters, print and distribute ballots, and do all of the other necessary prep work for the 2024 elections. October may sound like it's far enough away to give plenty of time to get these tasks done, but in reality, this is a really short timeline. To account for any possible challenges to the new updated map, aka if the legislature messes it up again and the court needs to appoint a map maker to draw the congressional districts for them, the U.S. District Court has given Alabama legislators until July 21st to pass a new congressional map. The court is also requiring progress reports due on July 7th and July 14th to make sure legislators are actually getting to work. Remember when the district courts first ruled that they redraw the maps, lawmakers literally looked the other way and did nothing. So to kick things off and officially start the redrawing process, members must be appointed to the committee that steers the redistricting process called the Reapportionment Committee, and Governor Kay Ivey must call a redistricting special session. Remember, the new maps are due by July 21st, and the legislature needs at least 5 days to pass a new map, so the special session can start no later than July 17th. Here's what we know so far. The Reapportionment Committee will be co-chaired by Representative Pringle and Senator Livingston. Representative Pringle is responsible for appointing committee members from the House, and Senator Livingston is responsible for appointing committee members from the Senate. To be clear, this is one single committee made up of legislators from both the House and Senate. The legislators serving on the Reapportionment Committee are Representative Cynthia Almond, Representative Barbara Boyd, Representative Jim Carnes, Representative Steve Klaus, Representative Corley Ellis, Representative Chris England, Representative Laura Hall, Representative Sam Jones, Representative Joe Lavorne, Representative Rex Reynolds. And on the senator side, we have Senator Vivian Figures, Senator Will Barfoot, Senator Lance Bell, Senator Clay Schofield, Senator Dan Roberts, Senator Bobby Singleton, Senator Arthur Orr, Senator Jack Williams, Senator Roger Smitherman, and Senator Johnny Chasteen. According to a press statement from the co-chairs of the Reapportionment Committee, the first public hearing and committee meeting will be held on June 27th at 1:30 p.m. in the State House. The committee meeting will be live streamed, just like most committee meetings are during a regular legislative session. It's important to note that public hearings are vital because they provide an opportunity for community members to get on the record about how they feel their community should be represented in these districts. It's important to provide the person or persons drawing the map with information they can use to accurately represent the community's interests, especially communities that have been historically and are currently divided and disenfranchised in the original Alabama Congressional map. Remember, people living in our communities tend to be the expert on the needs of their community. Here's what we know about the timeline. June 27th is, again, the first public hearing and committee meeting at 1:30 p.m. in the State House. July 7th is the deadline for all proposed maps to be submitted to the Reapportionment Committee. July 13th is the second public hearing and committee meeting at 1:30 p.m. in the State House. July 17th is when the special session likely begins. July 21st is when the new congressional map is due to the district court. And then on August 14th, the district court has scheduled a hearing in case there are any issues with the new congressional map. We must continue the fight to ensure that state legislatures draw new maps that are representative of Black and Brown communities. Everyone deserves to have equitable voting power and adequate representation. Sign up to receive the latest news on the redistricting special session at bit.ly/session updates. Tune in next time to They Better Get These Lines Right to stay connected and informed. The way the maps are drawn has an impact on so many issues that we care about, like voting rights, healthcare, criminal justice, reproductive justice, and education equality. Until next time, they better get these lines right.